Daf Yomi, Tractate, Sanhedrin, page 60b, top of the page, starting a new Mishnah with the words Ha'oved Avodah Zarah. Ha'oved Avodah Zarah, Echad Ha'oved, Ve'echad HaMizbeach, Ve'echad HaMaktir, Ve'echad HaManasech, Ve'echad HaMishtachaveh, Ve'echad HaMekablo Alav Le'Eloah, Ve'ha'omer Lo Eliata. One who worships idols is executed by stoning. This includes one who worships an idol, and one who slaughters an animal as an idolatrous offering, one who burns incense as an idolatrous offering, one who pours a libation in idol worship, and one who bows to an idol, and one who declares that he accepts an idol upon himself as a god, and one who says to an idol, "You are my God." Okay. Okay. אבל המגדף והמנשק והמכבד והמרבץ והמרחץ והסח והמלביש והמניל עובר בלא תעשה, הנודר בשמו והמקיים בשמו עובר בלא תעשה. But with regard to one who hugs an idol, or one who kisses it, or one who cleans it, or one who sprays water before it, or one who washes it, or one who rubs it with oil, or one who dresses it, or one who puts its shoes on, he transgresses a prohibition, but is not liable to receive capital punishment. With regard to one who vows in an idol's name, and one who affirms his statement by an oath in its name, he transgresses a prohibition. Hapoer atzmo lebar paor, zuhi avoidoso, hazoirek even lemarkulis, zuhi avoidoso. One who defecates before the idol known as Baal Peor is liable to receive capital punishment, even though defecating is a degrading act, as that is its form of worship. Likewise, one who throws a stone at Mercury is liable to receive capital punishment, as that is its form of worship. Markulis. Maybe I should start calling it Kochav Chama if it was an idol. Markulis is 446. Wow. Markulis. Okay, that's the Mishnah. The Gemara says, "My echad ha'ovid." The Gemara says, what is added in the Mishnah by stating the phrase "one who worships"? Since worship is the general description of all the actions detailed in the Mishnah, why is this phrase necessary? Amar Rabbi Yirmiyah hachi kamar. Echad ha'ovid kedalko, ve'echad mizbeach, ve'echad maktir, ve'echad menasech, ve'echad mishtachaveh, ve'afilu shelo kedalka. Rabbi Yirmiyah says that this is what the Mishnah is saying. One who worships an idol in his typical manner of worship is liable to be executed. And furthermore, one who slaughters an animal as an idolatrous offering, and one who burns incense, and one who pours a libation, and the one who bows to an idol are all liable to be executed. And this applies even if this manner of worship is not the idol's typical manner of worship. Even if the idol in question is not typically worshipped in these ways, these specific acts are still considered idol worship because these are the ways in which God is worshipped in the temple. Amar Abaye Zorig Hainu Menasich. Tichsev Balasich Niskem Midam. The Gemara suggests, and let the Mishnah also count sprinkling the blood of an offering, which is also one of the sacrificial rites in the temple. Abaye says sprinkling the blood of an offering is the same as pouring a libation, since they are essentially one sacrificial rite, as it is written, I will not pour their libations of blood. Psalm 16, verse 4, indicating that sprinkling the blood of an offering is also referred to as libation. The Gemara asks with regard to the halacha that one is liable for worshipping an idol in these manners, even if they are not the way the idol is typically worshipped. From where are these matters derived? Ditanu Rabbanon ilu nemal zoveach yecheram hayisi yoim bezoveach kadashim achut zakos medaber tamid level Elohim bezoveach level zor kos medaber. The Gemara answers, as the sages taught in a Braita, with regard to the verse, one who testifies to the gods shall be utterly destroyed except to the Lord alone. Exodus 22:19. If it were stated, one who sacrifices shall be utterly destroyed, I would have said that the verse speaks of one who slaughtered a sacrificial animal outside the temple courtyard, referring to a severe transgression that is stated elsewhere in the Torah. Therefore, the verse states to the gods, indicating that the verse speaks of one who slaughters an offering to an idol. The Braita asks, from where? But from here I know only the halacha of one who slaughters an offering to an idol. From where is it derived? That one who burns incense or pours a libation is also liable to receive the death penalty. The Braisa answers that the verse states, except to the Lord alone. The verse emptied out, in other words, designated all the sacrificial rites, the ineffable name of God, indicating that one who performs any of these rites in idol worship is liable. The Fishyatza Zevicha Lidon Va'avodot Panim Minayin Rabot Hishtachava. The Braita asks, since slaughter is singled out from all the forms of worship to be mentioned in this verse, in order to derive from it that with regard to all the sacrificial rites performed inside the temple, one who performs them in idol worship is liable to receive capital punishment, from where is it derived that this halacha includes bowing to an idol which is not a sacrificial rite? Tamid loymar v'yelach v'yavoid Elohim acherim yishtachu lehem v'smich le v'yotzeta da'ishahu. The Braita answers that the verse states, and has gone and served other gods and bowed to them, Deuteronomy 17:3. And a verse near it states, then you shall bring forth that man or that woman who has done this evil thing to your gates, the man or woman or the woman, and you shall stone them with stones and they shall die. Deuteronomy 17:5. It is derived from the juxtaposition of these two verses that one who bows down to an idol is liable to be executed. The Braita asks, we have heard the punishment for bowing to an idol, but from where is the prohibition against doing so derived? The Braita answers, the verse states, from where is the prohibition against doing so derived? Oh, the warning against doing it. The Braita answers, the verse states, for you shall bow to no other God. Exodus 34:14. Yachol shani merabeh megapef v'menashek yamanil tawid lomer zoveach. One might have thought that I should include among those liable to receive capital punishment one who hugs an idol or one who kisses it, or one who puts its shoes on it as well. Therefore, the verse states, one who sacrifices shall be utterly destroyed, referring to the acts of slaughtering and offering in idol worship. ולמה יצא להקיש אליה ולומר לך מה זביחה מיוחדת שהיא עבודת פנים וחייבן עליה מיסו אף כל שהיא עבודת פנים וחייבין עליה מיסו. The Brisa explains the slaughter of an offering was included in the general category of the prohibited forms of idol worship. And why was it singled out to be mentioned in this verse? It was singled out to compare a matter to it and say to you, just as slaughter is notable in that it is a sacrificial rite performed inside the temple, and those who perform this rite for the purpose of idol worship are liable to receive the death penalty for it. So too any form of worship that is a sacrificial rite performed inside the temple is prohibited when performed for idol worship, and transgressors are liable to receive the death penalty for it. Therefore, the act of bowing to an idol is singled out to be mentioned in a separate verse to derive the death penalty for that action itself, despite the fact that it is not a sacrificial rite performed in the temple, whereas the slaughter of an offering is singled out to be mentioned in order to derive from it the principle with regard to the entire category, namely, that generally one is not liable to receive capital punishment for a form of worship that is not performed in the temple. Amar Mar, Haisi Amar, Zveachat Mechutz, Hakas Medaber, Zveachat Mechutz Karetu. The Gemara proceeds to clarify the Braita. The Master said in the Braita, I would have said that the verse speaks of one who slaughters a sacrificial animal outside the temple courtyard. The Gemara asks, the punishment for one who slaughters a sacrificial animal outside the temple courtyard is karet, meaning being cut off, not capital punishment, as it is stated, each and every man who offers a burnt offering or sacrifice and does not bring it to the entrance of the tent of meeting to sacrifice the Lord, even that man shall be cut off from his people. Leviticus 17:8-9. Therefore, how can the Braita suggest that a verse that mentions capital punishment could be referring to this transgression? Our answers, it might enter your mind to say that in a case where the witnesses warned the transgressor not to slaughter the offering outside the temple, he is liable to receive the death penalty, but in a case when they did not warn him, he is liable to receive karet. Therefore, the Braita teaches that one who slaughters an offering outside the temple is not liable to receive the death penalty, even if he was warned. Amar le Rava bar Rav Chanan l'Abaye, Ema yatsa ishtachava lamed ala klal kulo. The Braisa states that the principle concerning the forms of idol worship that are punishable by execution is derived from the verse that mentions slaughtering an animal as an idolatrous offering, whereas bowing to an idol is mentioned in the verse as an exception. Rava bar Rav Chanan said to Abaye, say that bowing is singled out to be mentioned to teach with regard to the entire category, that any honorable form of worship, when performed for the sake of idol worship, carries the death penalty, not only sacrificial rites performed in the temple. And if you would say that is so, why do I need slaughter to be mentioned in the verse specifically? One can say that mentioning slaughter is necessary for the matter of the slaughter itself, meaning to teach that one can have intention from one sacrificial rite to another sacrificial rite. In other words, slaughtering an animal with idolatrous intent is punishable by death, even if the intention of the transgressor pertains not to slaughter the animal itself, but to another part of the sacrificial process. D'itmar hashochet behema lizrok dama levodazara v'aktir chelba levodazara Rabbi Yochanan Omar, it was stated with regard to one who slaughters an animal in order to sprinkle its blood in idol worship, or to burn its fat in idol worship. Rabbi Yochanan says, to be continued on 61a. Gotta go look.